You know, the letter C in Roman numerals is number 100. Huh. We have 100 videos left with each other. Better make this one count then. Tom Ford Tobacco Vanille. When I smelt this for the very first time, I thought, my goodness, that's Christmas. That just smells like all of the pastries and the chocolates that you'd find at Christmas markets and things like that. I love this so much that I actually went to Estonia, went to Tallinn, Estonia, where they have arguably the greatest Christmas market in Europe at least, and I did a video review. But that was the power of this fragrance. To me, if you're looking for a Christmas fragrance right now, then you've got to check this out. Going again with the chocolate vanilla kind of tone, Fève Délicieuse. Wow. When I first smelt this, and I remember thinking, bloody hell, I've got a bit of a problem because I'm a student. I was in film school at one point. I used some of my student loan to buy this bottle, but that was 5 years ago and I've still got this bottle, so it was a good investment. I've had incredible times out of this. The praline note, which has a bit of bitterness, really combines well with an incredible amount of vanilla. This is Francis Demarchy's true masterpiece. It's something for me that is just incredible. It hit all the right notes, pun intended, because I am a gourmand lover. I have a sweet tooth when it comes to smelling fragrances. I want to smell chocolatey and sweet and warming when it's cold. And this really was all of that and more. I don't know whether it's discontinued or not. People don't know anymore, really. I don't even think you'll know if this is probably discontinued or not. But this was an incredible fragrance when it came out, a true masterpiece. I had to go and buy it, and I still am in love with it to this day. This is truly one of Dior's true underrated masterpieces. This is Zoologist Tyrannosaurus Rex. This smells like you have put a patchouli incense stick on fire and then caught yourself in the blaze. It's very, very challenging to wear. It's very, very difficult to wear, but it changed my perception, or rather challenged my perception of what fragrances could be. Yes, this is not for everybody, but this is the strongest, loudest fragrance that I own. There's no competition, really. All of you Montel and Mancera fans, I get you and I hear you, but this blows Montal and Mancera and pretty much everybody out of the water. But that's not necessarily a good thing. This really does make a stink, and it's really, really powerful. Has a strong, burning patchouli incense with some iron that smells a bit like blood. It's a roller coaster ride, and it's one that I've not been willing to take too many times. But is it a masterpiece? Yes. Is it one of the most intriguing artistic expressions when it comes to fragrance ever? Yes, and I would definitely recommend that you at least try it once. This next fragrance, my older viewers know that I consider this to be a masterpiece. It's Rainier's Kisses Rain. There really was just something quite magical. It was kind of a synergy in my life. This was the type of fragrance that I was wanting and that I was looking for when I first smelt it. I remember getting the Rainier sample pack. They were a relatively new brand at the time, and I wanted to check out all of the new brands, see if I could sort of get a scoop. Kisses Rain was something that was magical and in a way similar to Fève Délicieuse, but instead of that vanilla, it has an almond, and it's a little bit more red and a little bit more pink than Fève Délicieuse. This is more feminine. This is more swashbuckling, adventurer, poet, rapscallion. And as far as do I think it's a masterpiece now, this actually got reformulated for the better. Its oil concentration went up, so I actually prefer this version than the original rendition, so it's become even more of a masterpiece, if that's even possible, to me. Look, I don't talk about this that much because I don't feel as though I have to, because everybody talks about inventors. But if you've ever wondered, yes, I do think it's a masterpiece. When I first smelt it in Selfridges at the Creed counter, I thought, whoa, that's exactly what a man should smell like. I just thought, wow, that just has a definitive masculine smell. It was kind of eerie, you know. I thought to myself, how on earth could a fragrance smell so up to date with what is required with masculine taste and fragrance? I knew that it was something special, and I knew it before it really took off with the hype, but then again, everybody sort of knew. It's one of those fragrances that maybe not so much now. Maybe if you smelt it now, you'd be like, oh, I don't really know. But in 2010, 2011, when this first hit the shelves, it really was something else. It's difficult to describe. You just knew that this was game-changing, and especially by Creed, who weren't usually making this kind of scent. Do I think it's a masterpiece now? I think that it's been done to death. I still have time for it. I still love it. I don't wear it as much because I just want to smell a bit more unique. But yeah, this is a masterpiece, and sorry if that's a bit disappointing to some of you. I mean, this to me is, you know, it's become a part of me, a part of my life, a part of how I sort of almost see myself. And that is, of course, Terry Mugler's Angel Men Pure Malt. Sadly now discontinued, as all of the Angel Men's are discontinued. But if you want a fragrance that, one of my most highly recommended fragrances of all time, that I genuinely think is a masterpiece because it touched my soul, because of the fact that I love Scotland, I want to move to Edinburgh, whiskey's a big part of my life. This is something that you've got to check out. If you're a fragrance apprentice follower and you've really enjoyed my whatever the hell I've been doing for the past like 8 years, then I will always recommend this. Very warm, very woody, has that boozy tone, a little bit synthetic, probably not even the best whiskey fragrance of all time, but it's the nostalgia points for me that really works. The memories that I have that have made it even more of something special than it was. Again, similar to T-Rex, this smells like fire and barbecue and oil, but I love it, and I actually think that the dry down is kind of sexy and it's underrated in a way. The way that the burning element calms down with the woods and the cade oil and some of the dark berries. I think that this is actually, it has a sweet element in the end, and it is quite sexy and it is quite attractive, but people don't really see that. They only see the opening. They just think that the opening's crazy and insane. They don't want anything to do with it, and I completely hear you. But that dry down is something special, and especially on a night like this when it's golden hour and it's kind of cool, kind of warm. It's mild, it's not too cold, it's not too warm. This really is amazing. I just think that it is a masterpiece. I remember thinking that it was so daring when I first smelt it, and I think it's daring now, and I think that it's underrated, truly underrated. Honestly, try this out. Royal Oud, you know, Aventus is amazing, but I do think that Royal Oud is better. Just so magnetic and confident and engaging and bossy and sweet. There's not too much Royal Oud. It really is more like this peppery kind of smell with a lot of sandalwood and a bit of cedarwood. There is an undercutting bitterness that you could sort of interpret as oud, but it's not really. It's more the sweeter sandalwood. But this is just so domineering and so confident, and I've worn this so many times when I've just needed a shot of adrenaline to give me confidence. I've done multiple videos on it, you can check them out. But it's one of those fragrances that you need in your life if you want to get something that's niche, get something that's that is expensive and that's actually worth the price. I think that this is the last Creed that is actually worth the high price tag. Royal Oud is still the king of Creed right now. These are sort of my past and my present. My past is Duron. If you saw my long, nearly 1 hour video, you know, I talked about how this was the fragrance of my early to mid 20s, and I got around and did a lot of crazy shit with this. This is the original version, certainly not the 2020 version, God forbid. That lipstick, makeup, iris fragrance that shouldn't work and is deemed too feminine and deemed too sort of metrosexual, but yet was one of the more popular and groundbreaking fragrances of the 2000s, was me. It was the smell of me. I feel as though the fragrance chose me, and it might still be able to choose you. This is so far my most complimented fragrance of all time. It just matched with me, and I think genuinely that a fragrance, if it matches your vibe, your aura, your energy, then that is when you truly get compliments. But if you're somebody like me, whatever you make of that, then this really, really works. Tom Ford's Ombre Leather. This is now me. This is where I'm headed. Hopefully I'm a little bit more mature, I'm a little bit more relaxed, and this is the vibe that I now put out. This is a confident vibe, that swooshy leather accord that is prevalent in Tom Ford, which is like a new car seat up against a sort of an aerated breath of fresh air, truly as fresh as the great outdoors. It's quite something. Is this a masterpiece? It's easily a masterpiece. And if you're somebody like me who has matured, who is now in their later 20s, they're going to be hitting 30 soon, and they want a different vibe. They want something that gives off a vibe of, you know, power, of control, of confidence. You've got to check out Ombre Leather. It's staggering. This has been such a long journey for me with my fragrance hobby. I'm so grateful. I've smelled some of the greatest fragrances in the world, and I'm so privileged to be able to give you this list. Do not take this list for granted, please. If you enjoyed this, please like, comment, subscribe, and if you want to give more than just a view, you can now donate to my PayPal. That will contribute to the more exuberant wild videos that I'm doing, like this one right here. Ciao, thanks, and the fragrance praise. Bye.